Good afternoon. Let's make sure the microphones are good. I'm still having a little bit of problem setting up. Let's make sure that the microphones, are we okay on the sound? Can you guys hear me okay? Are we okay? How we doing? Are we there? Give me some feedback. Let me know. Regina says yes. Scott says we right here. Sierra Brooks said silent show today. No. But it is going to be a quickie. Some of y'all used to those quickies. It's going to be a quick show today. I'm already late. I want to thank those that came in, the twos and the fews that are here. I am just going to drop a couple little things with you and say what's up. And then I got some things I got to get to. LaDonna says, Mike sounds nice. Thank you. Stephanie Hyde, what's good, cuz? She says, we're good. Steven Spencer said, yep, we're all right. What's good with everybody today, man? I want to thank everybody. Valerie Davis says, good sound. Thank you. Troy said, sound is good. Twin said, we're good. Let me see. I would go further back. Oh, Sierra said no sound. That was a little bit before. Carolyn Smith says, hello. Is that the Woo plan? Of course it is. You got to be from that era, that decade to understand what the Woo Tang is all about. You know, I love those brothers. What's good with everybody, man? I want to thank the few and the two that are here. Thank you for being here and having this out, giving me the opportunity to have your ear for a slight moment. Thank you. I just want to thank everybody that reached out. Y'all know Mama Birch, what's good? She said, all great. All is great. Thank you. Thank everybody for coming in. I know there's plenty places that you can go right now. I just want to thank everybody that reached out and said happy anniversary from the show and my personal, my wedding anniversary. Thank you. I hate to tell you, but I had a great time. Scott Bain says, check your inbox. Okay, I will, bro. I've been slacking on the inbox a little bit. What's up, AP? Sierra says, am I the only person who can't hear? I hope not, because I'm sitting here talking. I hope not. I hope not. Sierra, why don't you do me a favor? Back out and come back in. See if that'll help. If she can't hear me. If she can't hear me, she didn't hear that instruction. My apologies. Sierra, back out, come back in. That's for Sierra. Back out, come back in. Somebody send Sierra a message and let her know to do that. That might help. I want to thank everybody that shouted out my wife and I for our anniversary. We had a ball. I spent my 27th anniversary in Chicago. Now, y'all know I've been, Andrea says I can hear. Roz, greetings, Wyatt and crew. What's good, Roz? Long time no talk to. Where you been? But listen, I spent 8 or 9, really 8, I don't know, 9 days, 8 nights in Chicago. I've been pretty hard on Chicago lately. She says, I can hear now. Okay. All right. Thanks, Sierra. I had a great time in the Chi. I always do. It's not that I didn't want to go to the Chi. I just didn't really want to support Chicago because of the things that I see what they're doing to my people. I just didn't want to support Chicago and pay, when you go as a guest, you pay higher taxes on everything in Chicago because of the hotel tax, the eating tax, everything is taxed at the max in Chicago. And I was going as a tourist, so to speak. I don't own anything there. I don't have an apartment there. So I am paying all of the luxury taxes, if you want to call it that, of being in the city of Chicago. I had a great time. We were only supposed to be there like 4 days. And, I'll just be honest with you. My wife and I are lovers of the city of Chicago. There's something to do in Chicago. Every corner that you hit and every block, there's something to do in the Chi. So if you've never been there, please go visit Chicago. It is. I didn't have one bad meal in the city of Chicago. Okay, not one bad meal. Man, I tell you what, this is not a knock on my lovely city. I love the city of Cincinnati, and I claim the city everywhere I go. But I really wish Cincinnati, and I'm sure a lot of cities, I'm sure a lot of people wish this for their city as well. But I really wish Cincinnati was on the same level as Chicago when it came down to events, things to do. I just don't know what it is about Chicago that's so. It's almost like I've been there probably 50 times, and every time I go, it's almost like I've never been there. Something new every weekend or every day is going on in Chicago. It's amazing. I don't know what it is. It's just, I guess it's the Disneyland for adults. I am going to set a plan with my wife to visit every rooftop restaurant in the city of Chicago. And you know what would be so amazing? If the city of Cincinnati had rooftop restaurants overlooking its city. And it's possible that it can happen. I mean, we have a great city in the city of Cincinnati up there. I just wish that we had some of the attractions. I wish we had the menus. It's like amazing. The rooftop attractions are crazy. It's just crazy. And I really wish I lived in a city that offered all of that. Economically, it would be beautiful for the people that live there. You know what I mean? That, entrepreneurs could probably do a lot more with there's a lot more opportunity in Chicago for entrepreneurs. And, I tell you what, while I was there, I don't know if any of you guys remember Mike Martin. Mike Martin, a former Cincinnati Bengal, he reached out to me because he lives in Chicago. And I did not get a chance to get with Mike Martin while I was in Chicago. And that kind of hurt because he hit me up on my last day or the day before I was leaving, because I'll tell you more about, I was supposed to be leaving. Mike Martin reaches out, and I'm on my way home. I'm about to leave. My wife looks at me and she was like, "You sure?" And I was like, because that morning I was like, "Man, let's go over to Gino's Pizza and eat lunch before we leave. I want to have one, I want to go to Gino's Pizza over, I think it's on 136th Street, something like, I don't know. But anyway, I want to go over to Gino's Pizza and get one more, get a piece of pie before we leave." And my wife was like, "You sure you really ready to go?" And I'm like, "Well, babe, I got one more day or two in me if you do." And she was like, "Well, let's stay." So I rebooked, we booked the hotel, we stayed. I thought was going to be one more night. It ended up being two more. Well, it ended up being two more. And then we ended up 9 days in Chicago. 9 days in Chicago. And I'm like, wow, that makes up for all the time that we were gone. All the years. I hadn't been to Chicago probably in 2, maybe 3 years. And I made up for it. Got my Garrett's popcorn. I don't know if I brought it with me here, but got my Garrett's popcorn. Had a great time. I almost act like I was a tourist. I've been to Chicago so many times. Good afternoon, Tanika. Nice to see you. I've been to Chicago so many times, I don't feel like a guest anymore. But let me just tell you, while I was there in the month of March, say that real fast. In the month of March, all the museums were free. You see what I'm saying? My brother D. Ross, who we get the boxes from, I'm calling him. He lives in Milwaukee. Milwaukee is only an hour away. It's like if you live in Cincinnati, it's like driving to Dayton, or maybe Columbus. Maybe Columbus. So, Milwaukee, which is a beautiful city as well, you're only an hour away, 45 minutes away from Chicago. So my boy D. Ross hits me. He's like, "Hey, man, me and the wife might come up, blah, 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 blah." And he gives me all these different, shout out to D. Ross, bro. You need more people like that around you. Positive brothers who say things like, "Hey, look, you and your wife, man, go to this, do this, do this. Let me show you what's going on. This weekend, we have free museums the whole month of March." Now, my wife is on the phone, like we plugging in a daily, our daily schedule. Okay, we're gonna go to this. They had the Asian Museum, the African American Museum, the African, I think it was Tahiti. It was somewhere. It was another one that was so slick. We didn't make it to it, but I was like, the outside had all these roses and flowers outside of it. And I'm like, well, we got to go to that one tomorrow. We did 2 or 3 museums in a day. And these are cultural museums. They're not just normal museums. This is like what we have in Cincinnati up there. The we have that African American History Museum in Cincinnati. I don't know why we don't push that more. We need to get our kids in there. We need to get people to come to Cincinnati and tour that place, man, because when you understand other people's cultures, you understand how they move in America, to be honest with you. I just see how they were living, the way that the food, the way they're dressed, their culture, the things that their kids tend to admire and look up to. And I see the difference in some of these kids just by how their culture has been brought into these children. I see a huge difference in kids that follow culture if the culture is right. You hear me? If the culture is right. But I just had a ball in Chicago. Can't wait to go back. Wife and I were thinking about driving once we got back to Cincinnati, because we have to go back to Cincinnati on April 17th. So I was thinking, maybe we can go to Chicago when I get back, because my baby's about to graduate from college. We go to Nashville May the 3rd. We go to Nashville for May the 3rd. It just seems like I just cried on this camera in front of the world, in front of you guys, about my youngest baby, I have 2, and this is the youngest of the 2, going off to college, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know what I was going to do. And I cried. I didn't cry literally, but I whined a little bit. And my family here was like, oh, you'll be all right. You'll be okay. And you'll be fine. And you'll be okay. And man, those 2 years have gone by. It's been 2 years. And I can't believe it. My baby's put that work in. She's graduating with a degree from Belmont University, a 4-year college degree in 2 years. She put the work in. So I'm totally happy at the efforts that she's been making. And all I can tell you is she has a wonderful mother and a wonderful father. I'll take the credit for that one, damn it. I'm just playing, just having a good time. But yeah, May the 3rd, I'll be out of here. We're going to her graduation. It is, I believe, on May the 4th in Nashville. So I can't wait to be able to attend my baby. Now, this is 2. I'm 2 for 2. Thank you, Lord. Y'all know the saying. You know the saying. I always told God, just give me healthy children, Lord, and I will do the rest. That's what I feel me as a parent should think, ask the Lord for. Give me healthy children, Lord, and I will do the rest. And he did. He blessed me with 2 lovely young girls. And I felt it's my duty to point them in the right direction. If they chose to do something different, that's on them. That's on them. But anyway, thank you for being here, yo. Chicago was great. Everything's good right now. I do have a couple announcements. I got a couple things that I'd like to discuss. And I'm going to do a teaser, somewhat of a teaser today of what I am bringing and what my partners and I do have partners. I do have people that I work with. What I've been doing in the background of I haven't really been talking about it much, but I'm a man of put your money where your mouth is and step up. If you're going to say this, you're going to say that, you're going to do it. I am going to invest in the city of Cincinnati. I have some things coming up for the summer of 2025 in the city of Cincinnati, and I hope everyone here will be attending and showing their support. And if not, I truly understand, because not everybody that's with you is really with you. They just with you. You understand? So I don't expect all support and love, because what I'm bringing to the city of Cincinnati may not be for everyone. It may not be for everyone, but for those that it's for, I'm here with it. All right. So I want to thank everybody for the support before I even tell you, because I know some are waiting. They've been waiting anxiously for me to bring it back to the city. And we're going to have some fun this summer, because I got really big names attached to what's going on. Really big names. I'm not the star, trust me. Once you see what we're doing in the city of Cincinnati for 2025, the summer of 2025, you won't even say anything about Wyatt. You won't say my name. You'll only be talking about the people that are going to be in front of you entertaining you. You hear me? And that's how I like it. That's how I like it. I'm going to bring it to you and I'm going to step off and say, hey, let's make it work. Let's make it happen. Some of you probably already know what I'm talking about because you know what I'm into. That being said, there's a few things in the city. Let me see. I got a couple little notes here that I wrote down. I covered my anniversary in Chicago. I didn't really say a lot. My wife, for y'all that want to know, for the fellas, I don't know if the ladies care. My wife went crazy on the shopping game. I tell you what, I was taking so many pictures with my phone and doing so much like live, or not necessarily live, but recording video with my phone, that my phone was damn near, it was dead. It was on like 2% in the red and it was screaming at me to get a charge. I didn't have my charger. I had a charger, but you know how on the charger where the ends kind of, they separate. I had that problem where the charger wouldn't charge. So I'm out here in Chicago, in them streets of Chicago, at the mall, by the way. And my wife was going berserk. That's one thing she loves to do in the city of Chicago, is to shop. You hear me? You can find Kenwood Mall in Cincinnati. There's 4 Kenwood malls in downtown Chicago on Michigan Ave, whether you go in East Michigan or West Michigan. They have 2 downtowns, for those that don't know, in the same vicinity. 2 downtowns. All right. That's crazy. And every mall is Kenwood Mall, high-end mall, medium-end mall, low-end mall, whatever you want to call it. I didn't see a bad mall with a bunch of empty spaces in it. It's just Chicago. But guys, my wife went crazy. And the reason why I was telling you about my phone dying is because I was trying to record while my phone was there. And I didn't really get much out because the phone died. And this particular store we went to, they serve you a little bit of champagne, and they even put my phone on the charger, but I couldn't record what I wanted to record. And it was my wife doing her little shopping spree. And I thought that would have been pretty cool because I'm doing this little collage of pictures and video and things of that nature of our trip. Some of you probably seen on my page on Facebook and some of my social media. You probably seen some of those pictures. I'm a guy that love to take pictures in the subways, out on the streets and stuff. I love bricks. You know what I'm saying? I love cement brick. I love old school streets. I like cracks in the streets. I like all of that. I love old buildings. I love all that type of stuff. It fascinates me. And that being said, Chicago has a lot of that to offer. But I took a lot of pictures, and maybe one day I'll be able to share it here on the show or on my page, and people, maybe you'll care to see it. I don't know. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But I will make it available for everybody to see because I had an excellent time. I had a great time. One of my favorite restaurants, for those that may want to get to Chicago, is Prime Ocean. Okay? Prime Ocean it's on point. Fellas, listen. This is not me trying to blow big and no bullshit like that, okay? Prime Ocean is very reasonable. It's like a 4-star restaurant, okay? With a 5-star type of situation going on, all right? It is amazing. I mean, my wife and I sat there. It was probably $200. I mean, these are special occasions. This is not, you don't go to a Prime Ocean on a day-to-day basis. You don't go to Jeff Ruby's on a day-to-day basis. But guys, if you ever want to impress your woman, and I really shouldn't be doing these advertisements for free, should I? No, I shouldn't. But let me give the game to some people. Go to Prime Ocean when you get to Chicago. Okay? And if you're not a meat eater, I understand. But if you are a steak eater, if you eat steaks and you like a nice steak and not mashed potato, but baked potato and a salad, if that's your flow, like it is for me, their steaks are on point. No, it's not. Dana, that's not bad. $200 on a nice 4-star type of restaurant in Chicago, overviewing the city, and then upstairs you have the club. You have, I mean, it's just an amazing night. It's just an amazing night. Their steaks are amazing, but more importantly, they cater to whatever you need. Let me tell you what I said. I asked for a salad. All right, I'm a salad guy. Salad and bread pre-meal. And I asked them what salad dressings they had. They only had like 3 or 4 salad dressings. But what happens is this. He said, well, what salad dressing do you prefer, sir? And I said, well, I like sweet, salad dressings, and they don't have it. Like, give me a honey French or something of that nature. And the lady, my waitress, she actually, she stopped me in my tracks and said, whatever you want, if we don't have it, we'll make it. The chef will make it. And I have never in my life tasted a honey French dressing as good as Prime Ocean in my life. Y'all got to understand, I've been eating like this for 20 years now. And I've never in my life tasted a salad dressing homemade from scratch, a French honey that damn good. And it was almost watery, where it didn't have like that big orange yellow type taste, like that look. And it wasn't real thick. It was like a vinaigrette type of a flow, but it was honey French. It was the best salad dressing I've ever had in my life. So check out Prime Ocean in Chicago. Great view, not a bad seat in the house. They treat you like royalty when you get there, and it's very reasonably priced. That's all I can say. I mean, most places like that, you're gonna drop $300-400 and something like that. And I'm telling you, man, they're very reasonably priced. And your lady, fellas, your lady will not only love the experience, she is going to love you even more after you do something this special for a woman. If you're not treating ladies right out here, hey, they will let you know. They will let you know. And fellas, just for the record, I don't want to hurt no feelings, and I'm not trying to be that guy. Be careful, because what you won't do, somebody else will. You feel me? Somebody else will. And I'm going to tell you, ladies, if they're not treating you right, find someone that'll treat you right. Don't waste any more time on people that don't want to do you right. And fellas, the only reason why I'm taking the lady side on this one is because if you have a woman that's loyal, you have a woman that's treating you right, she ain't going nowhere. She ain't going nowhere. You make a woman happy, she ain't going nowhere. You hear me? Now, fellas, y'all got to openly admit that it don't work like that for us. You can have a happy woman and you could be a happy man, and we still might do some dumb shit. I just don't think women are built like that. I'm going to take a drink on that with my sweet tea and let that marinate. I very seldom, and ladies, y'all might think that I might be on some bullshit right now, or fellas might think I'm on some bullshit right now, but I would side with women when it come down to who does the most dumb shit in a relationship. I would have to side with women on that and say, I just think that men could have a perfect situation and F it all up. I'm working on not cursing and F it all up. But a woman, if she's happy, is going to be, probably the best thing in your life. She's going to be better than any friend you've ever had. She's going to be better than any business partner you've ever had. I don't know. Fame Rothstein, what's good? He said, Wyatt is right. Another guy will do it. That's why I give oral from, jeez. All right. I was going to read your other comment, but it probably wouldn't be wise for me to read that one, because that one went off the rail a little bit. I'll read it to myself. All right. That's respectable. I'll read this one out loud. Fame said, Wyatt, you always take the women's side because you came from a single mother. You might have a point there. I don't agree with it, but you might have a point. You might have, there might be some truth to that. But I don't think that's what it really is. I don't think that's what it is. I think my experience in life has taught me that. Okay, I think that if men want to be honest, I think they will agree with what I'm saying. I think that more so than me coming from a single mother. I don't argue with anybody that has their opinion. I'm not arguing against opinion. 2025, I told y'all that. Anybody that has opinion about something like that, that's fine. Because that might be his interpretation of my ideas because of where I come from. And that's cool. That's cool. I ain't mad at that. Let's see here. My apologies. Let me see here. Twin says, Randall Wyatt, do you still serve? I'm sorry. Do they still serve Tuffle popcorn at appetizers still? I Are you talking about at Ocean Prime? I didn't see any of that. I didn't see, what did you call it, Twin? I didn't see any popcorn at Ocean Prime. I didn't see any popcorn. So my answer to that would probably be no. They offered us anything and anything that we wanted. They pretty much was able to do it for us, but popcorn never came up. So I don't know. Stephanie Hyde said toxics got to go. Have a real king that will treat you like a queen. Yeah, I don't know any. Okay. Yeah. Sabrina Calloway said it. She said sometimes people don't realize what they have until it's gone. Yeah, that's real. That's absolutely real. Twin said they used to start off at popcorn. Twin, I said Ocean Prime. Starts off no damn popcorn. They had bread on the table that was freshly baked. And as soon as they sat it on there, you could see the steam coming off the top. It wasn't no butter popcorn on the damn table, bro. Maybe that was in Chicago. Maybe that's the east side. No, excuse me, south side Chicago. Ocean Prime out there where them hot dog stands are. Or down by maybe Pierce, some old shit. It wasn't Ocean Prime in the tall building. It wasn't that spot. Said popcorn. Twin out. I'm sorry. I read a comment. I'm sorry. He said 6 years ago they did. 6 years ago. All right, Twin. I'm not mad at you, brother. 6 years ago, I was doing different shit. So yeah, it probably changed. Okay. It probably changed. I'm not getting popcorn vibes from Ocean Prime at all. I mean, maybe they did. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's when they was just getting started and they was like, well, let's find some cheap shit to put on the table to keep people hungry. You know what I'm saying? Get them started the right way. I don't know, Twin, but I've never known Ocean Prime. I mean, it's not the first time I've been there. And I've been there probably Nika says Ocean Prime is here in Orlando. Check it out. Please do. I've been to the one in Orlando. It's over by what is that? You know where they have the Tanika know what I'm talking about. I'm bad with directions. I don't remember streets. I just know how to get there. You know where the Ferris wheel and all that stuff is, Tanika, in Orlando? It's not Disney. It's where they have the the fake Disney and the fake I don't know what's the other one? They have Disneyland and then they have what's the other one that they have there? I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a minute since I've been there. But the new shit, they got some new park out there. You'll know what I'm talking about, Tanika. It's over in that direction. It's over that way where they had a Ferris wheel and I've been to the Ocean Prime there. Icon Park. I believe it's over by Icon Park. So yeah, it's not the first time I've ever been to Ocean Prime. It's just the one in Chicago is really nice because of the view. Being able to see the city, see the ocean, see the water in the boats, and a great time. Great time. All right, so Universal Studios, that's what it's called, Universal. I don't know why I wanted to say, who said that? Epcot. Icon Park. Somebody said Epcot. But it's actually, Disney World, Epcot. Stephanie Hyde said, no, I know what you're talking about, but it's Universal Studios. They have Universal, and then they have Disney. Universal, we plan on going there this month, or April. We're going to Universal. They have a new park that opened in February, and we're going there because the kids want to kind of go. We're going on a cruise in April, so we're going to go a day early, so we can experience this new park. Y'all got to understand, I grew up with two girls that think Disneyland is Kings Island. You understand what I'm saying? Like, some kids are not, some kids they may have never been to Disneyland. My children been to Disneyland so damn many times, they treat it like it's Kings Island. It's almost like when you're a resident, it's easier to go and the prices are better. Just to let you guys know, and I'm trying to blow big, Tanika can probably vouch for this. When you're a Florida resident, you can buy season tickets to Disney at a much better rate. Okay. And now let me just tell you something about the hustle of Disney down in Orlando. Tanika can probably vouch for this as well. A few years ago, you can get in Disney Park for less than Kings Island. A few years ago, they had booths set up on the strip down there where you can go to Disney Park for $30. You can get in that sucker for $25 or $30. Tanika, you ever seen those reused tickets? Or the ticket, the ticket booths down there that they had people, you can go in and get a pass for $25 for the day, because they would buy tickets from people who had a day or two left and they had to leave, but they still had a couple days left. So what they would do, they would buy those tickets from people and then they would redistribute them. They would resell them and give great deals. So if I'm leaving, I did it one time. This was early in our going to Disney days. My wife and I, we had a 4-day pass, and maybe we only were staying for 3 days. And if we were staying for 3 days, we had a whole nother 4th day. We would sell that for like $100. And now they're $25 per ticket, and they end up selling them for $35-40 and make a profit. So it was a racket down there. Now with the new technology, you can't really do that. You can't really do that. You have to pretty much stick to their program. They do this face identity thing, this thumbprint thing. It's just way different to buy tickets for Disney now. So that hustle is gone. But they had that hustle for a long time. They put that hustle out there for at least 10 years of our time taking our children to Disney. And we always, once you learn that hustle, once you learn how to get into Disney parks for $25, you can go a lot. You know what I'm saying? I never bought any of the pre-tickets through AAA or through Disney online. I never done any of that. We would go down and buy our tickets when we got there, and we would go hit the strip where all of the fruit stands and all that stuff is. And we would buy tickets for like $25 to get in. It was a great time. I mean, it was cheaper. It was a great way to do it. We saved a lot of money doing it that way. So, quick thing, couple different things. Okay, I went over my anniversary. Thanks for listening to that. I've been wanting to get that out for a long time. My wife and I had a great time in Chicago for 9 days. Got something special coming to the city of Cincinnati this summer. Can't wait to really get into it. I can't get into it fully today because everything's not signed, sealed, and delivered. But I do look forward to expressing, I'm very excited about what we're bringing to the city of Cincinnati this summer. All right. More to come on that. All right. Sad news. Guy named Richard. I don't know if y'all who all know about Richie's, the chicken spot in Cincinnati. He may have other ones too. He may have I don't know, multiple locations. I don't know if he has them in Dayton. I thought they had Richie's in Indianapolis. I'm not quite sure, but he had got convicted of a crime probably 2 years ago. And he took a plea deal. Mr. Richard took a plea deal. And I guess in his mind, he felt like he couldn't do the plea deal time. And let me just tell you, this is what I don't want to make this. I'm not trying to joke about it. I know it doesn't sound like I'm joking, but I knew him personally. And how I knew him was in the same setting that got him in the position that he ended up in. Um, I gamble. I'm not a daily gambler, but I am a poker player, and we play private poker games in public places. And I don't like to sit down and play poker for $10 or $15. I like to make it makes, it has to be I don't, it don't have to be life-changing money, but I like it to make some sense. I gotta have a feeling if I'm gonna make a bet. And I want it to cost your ass. If I make a bet and you man enough to call it or woman enough to call it, I want you to have to pay if you think I don't have it. You understand what I'm saying? But a long story short, Mr. Richard was a really good dude when it came down to the game of poker, which means he was good for the game. He gambled a lot. And we would sit at the, Hollywood and gamble. And he's such a quiet guy. He was a nice guy, but he was a quiet guy. And he never caused any problems. He was not a problem guy. You know what I mean? Like no conflict type of guy. But he lost a lot. Not to put his business out there, but it's pretty obvious that he lost a lot, because when you put the crime that he committed, when you look at that, and then you look at his history with that particular casino, it wasn't just the poker players. It wasn't the poker that got him. He played cards in the casino. And I believe that gambling addictions are just as bad as drug addictions. I don't know how. I'm not a doctor. Maybe my daughter will be able to help me, understand it one day. They say it's some type of mechanism in your brain or in your mind or something. I don't know. But they say that a gambling addiction is just as bad as a drug addiction. It's just as bad. And I mean, I've seen him win a lot. I've seen him lose a lot. But back to the subject at hand of what happened to him, I think it's a sad situation. He ended up facing massive time. I mean, to me, 5 years is massive, because I can't go to jail. I don't have time to go to jail. I got shit to do tomorrow. But he was facing some time, and he ended up taking a plea deal, which was, I would believe, when you're looking at 20 years and you end up doing, take a deal of 3 years, to me, I think it's fair. I mean, if he's convicted, he's not going to do 20 years, but he will probably do 15. So to take 3 years on something that you're guilty on, I think is a fair, I think it's a fair deal. Now, is it me or is the screen messed up? Is the screen messed up, guys? Is the screen messed up? I'm sorry. Are we okay with the screen? Because it kind of went out a little bit on me. Okay. Y'all notice all the dudes that did time saying 5 years ain't shit? I ain't got 5 years. I ain't got 5 months. But it's just who you are. It's, it all depends on who you are. I don't have, it's blurry. I'm sorry. I don't have 5 years to give somebody for some shit like that. That's why I keep my nose clean. Yeah, Jack, yeah, he says, is it the owner of Richie's he is speaking about? Yes. And my thing is this. I'm talking about Richie, the owner of Richie's. He ended up killing himself. He took a plea deal of 3 years. Okay. And he was scheduled for court to be sentenced on his plea deal. In other words, he took a plea a few months ago. They agreed to the plea deal. And then he was scheduled to show up for court a few days ago, and he never showed up. When he didn't show up, it was odd, because he had been doing everything he was supposed to do. I know this for a fact. He was doing what he was supposed to do, going to court, handling his business, checking in with everyone he was supposed to be checking in with, except the day that he was going to get his sentence actually stamped, which means that's when the judge was going to hand him his 3-year sentence and start immediately. He didn't show up for court. He didn't show up that day. It was a little surprising, because he had been doing what he was supposed to do. And when he didn't show up, the courts the bailiffs all were a little worried and blah, blah, blah. They sent the car to his home, and that's where they discovered his body. And it looks like, I don't know how he did it, but it looks like he committed suicide because he didn't want to do the time. I had a few people that reached out to me. We had a couple conversations about it, and they were saying maybe he was, maybe he was not embarrassed, but I guess you could embarrassed because his family got a hold of it. He was from another country, and you don't come to America and do things like that. A lot of cultures, to be honest with you, have a difference about their name. I quite honestly believe my name is very important for me. I work very hard to keep my name in good standings with people. I like people to, when they hear my name, I want them to say something good. I don't want them to say that he's a crook, he's this, anything bad. And in a lot of cultures, your name is the first thing you have when you're standing on something. And I believe Mr. Richard, I think he may have fallen under that situation where, and this is just an assumption, I don't know. I think he may have fallen into something where the culture that he's from didn't accept his behavior. And it was a shame type of a situation. Because the first thing came to my mind was this. I got to go with the fellas who's done some time. I don't know anybody who is this might be the wrong word. I've used this word a few times in the wrong scenarios, but this is the only word that I know to use in a case like this. I don't know anybody that's brave enough to kill themselves, but not brave enough to go do 3 years. You see what I'm saying? To me, I'm not afraid to die, but I'm afraid to kill myself for so many reasons. Number one, what if the shit don't work right away? And then I change my mind and now I'm hurt and I'm doing something and I'm sitting there suffering from a self-inflicted wound. That's one. Number two, I believe the Bible tells you that you're not supposed to commit suicide and you can go to hell for that. I don't know if that's true, but I think that's part of it. I don't want to go to hell. I've worked too hard on earth not to really go to hell. Okay. But for me, I am not brave enough to try to kill myself. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I don't have that strength. Bravery is strength. I don't have that strength to do myself in like that. I know I fear that. I'm a grown ass man, and I fear the fact that I might miss on my own suicide attempt. I believe that I would miss, and I don't want to take that chance of maybe going to hell. I don't want to take that chance of missing and have to deal with myself. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. That's just me. A lot of people don't understand how, let me back up a little bit. I believe if you're brave enough to kill yourself, you're brave enough to go do 3 years. And when I told that to a friend today, they understood what I was talking about. They said, well, maybe it was because of his culture. And that's when it made sense to me. I didn't even think of it that way. Maybe because I believe he's from Africa. He's from a country in Africa. And I believe that, when you shame the name, there's repercussions to shaming the name. And when your name go back home and he's in the joint in the jail back in the city of Cincinnati, I mean, that could be bad on the name back home. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And I think that might have has something to do with it. And for those that might not agree or understand what I'm talking about, look, just look up the word bravery. Okay. Look up the word bravery and you just look at the word bravery and you ask yourself, did it make sense for Wyatt to use the word bravery? All right. Bravery is not always something that leads to something that's positive. Okay. You can be strong. You could be a brave criminal. A motherfucker to go rob a bank with a gun, he's brave because he might not make it out of there. You see what I'm saying? He may not make it out of there. A guy that'll go into the bank with a and brandish a gun, that's a brave individual. We can call him crazy. We can call him a foolish individual. We can call him anything you want to call him, but you can't call him. You can't say he ain't brave, because a person that's standing on it and don't fear repercussions, Yeah, I think that's a sense of bravery. Sorry. Tanika said, I thought the owner of Richie's was Jamaican. No, I believe Rich is from, I don't know, somebody said he was from Trinidad. Ross says, Wyatt, he from Trinidad. Maybe so. I thought he was from Africa. Let's just say this. I never asked. The only time I had conversations with him was, you gonna call this bet? Or do you have anything, man? Or are you just bluffing? That was it. He was a nice guy, but I didn't hold a lot of conversations with him. Just being honest with you. And I ain't gonna get into how we play, but yeah, he was definitely a gambler. Steven Speed, what's good, bro? Let me leave that alone right now because I made my comments about him. Shout out to his family, peace and lovings to his family. One thing we have to understand is when we do something out here in these streets, when we make the decisions that we make, if we're familyed up, if we have a family, if you have daughters, if you have sons, if you have a wife or a husband, the decisions we make out here on these streets, if they're bad decisions and there's repercussions to those decisions, your family pays the price just like you. When you go to jail, they go to jail. They may not be behind the bars, but they're living that same, their life has changed totally. I think that's one of the real big reasons. I had already got out of the way of doing dumb shit in my life by the time I had kids, but my children actually motivated me even more to stay out of the way of nonsense. You understand what I'm saying? Because I had things to do with my children. I didn't want to get in a situation where I let my children down. My kids and I, we have a great relationship. We were talking about this the other day. My daughter said, Dad, you whooped me a couple times. I don't remember it. I said to prove it. She couldn't really prove it. She said, the reason why I never got in trouble, Dad, is because I was scared of you. I said, you wasn't scared of me like I was going to punish you, like hit you or hurt you or whoop you. That's not what you were afraid of. She said, yes, it was. I said, no, it wasn't, because I never threatened you. I never told you, don't go this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. My mama threatened me. How many of us, we know the difference. My mother threatened my life if I was going to do something. Mama Birch, how many times did you threaten Jimmy? If you go out there and do that, I'm going to knock your head off. If you go out there and do that, I'm going to breach your ass. I'm going to do. Mamas in our era threatened us. I never did that to my daughter. I always said things like, don't do that. I set the precedent that if you make these bad decisions, these things will be taken out of your life. My mama told me she was going to knock my head off. That was never anything I threatened my children to doing. We just changed. We just different in how we raise our kids. No, nothing wrong with it. She said every day. I know with Jimmy. That was my brother, man. I would rest his soul. That was my brother. But I'm just saying that there's tornado watches in Nashville. Y'all know my baby is in Nashville. Up last night. I had another story about that. Up all night last night because tornadoes went through. They skimmed right in Nashville. So my baby had to leave her apartment and go over to the dorms and go downstairs in the basement at like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning last night. I'll tell y'all about that if I have time at the end of the program. But I've never threatened my daughters with physical abuse and no shit like that. I never really did that. And I had to express to them the difference between you being scared of me or you not wanting to disappoint me. That's what I was getting to. My daughters were afraid to disappoint me. And that's what I used the things that we were privileged to do and to serve them and give them in their life. We use that to leverage good behavior. You know, if you're not going to be able to do these things, if you do this, you're not going to be able to get in gymnastics. You're not going to be able to get in cheer. You can't play basketball. We leverage the things that they love to do. You can't get on the iPad. No, I'm taking your cell phone. We had those things to leverage. You grow up like we grew up, Mama Birch. Y'all didn't have shit to leverage. Star Wars men, little action figures, maybe. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have so much that you could take away from us other than going outside. See, for me, the biggest punishment you can put on me, on Wyatt, my mama put me on a 1-week punishment where I can't come outside. That was the biggest punishment. I took whoopings every day, every other day. The whooping shit don't work. Mamas, if y'all think whooping your kids work, then you should only have to do it one time in your life. Now, who in here, other than the person who just don't believe in whoopings, who in here who believe in ass whoopings only whooped their child one time in life and it worked and they never did anything else? They never did anything that deserves a whooping. So you sitting back whooping your children like slaves and shit, and they still acting a fool. Because I was that kid. I was the kid where I take an ass whooping. I just didn't want to get caught. And the repercussions of me getting caught was an ass whooping. And I knew it was an ass whooping. So it don't work. But now when you tell me I get to a point where I'm too big to get an ass whooping, and you start telling me you can't go outside for a week, you can't do this, you can't talk on the phone, you can't do this, you can't do that. Now I'm starting to get my shit together a little bit better. The physical ass whoopings never worked, or I would have only got one in my life. Sorry. Dominique, what's good, sis? She said, I kicked ass. Hold up. Let me read this one. It started out a little rocky for me in how I do things, but let me read it. Hold on, Dominique. Don't go. Hold on, screen moving. Let me get to it. Dominique says, I kicked ass. I didn't want them to be scared of me. I had only one that I had to whoop once and never again, my youngest. Well, let me ask y'all something. Let's apply logic. What makes you think somebody that you being physical with by punishing them physically aren't going to be scared of you? They scared of you. They're scared of you at that point. I can't ever remember once I got big. Y'all ever had the flinch game going on? Y'all ever had the flinch game where your mama do you like that and you be like, you scared of your mama if you doing that. If your mother do you like this, like, and you scared of her. You know she'll hit you. You ever flinched to somebody that you know wasn't gonna hit you? I had somebody do that to me before. I didn't even think he was a tough guy. He'd get all up in my face. I know this is a little bit off the subject, but it's the same point. I'm making a point. Have you ever had a dude or somebody get in your face and do you like that and you just be like, I know you ain't about to hit me. I know you ain't got it in you to hit me. You're not scared of dude. But your mama who whooped you when you was growing up, if she do you like that, your ass gonna buckle. And the reason why is because you're scared. You know your mama will hit you. It's the truth. So now beating your kids, yeah, they definitely pick up this thing of being scared of you. And this is something that nothing that I really got into. Didn't want to do it. Speaking of kids, oh my God. I got a couple different things I'd like to discuss about some children, some kids. And I want to know why it's not being talked about. Maybe other platforms talking about it. I don't know. I haven't watched any. I've been so far away. I've been distanced because I'm burned out of politics. I'm burned out of hearing about the same shit the same way all the time. And when I get burned out like that, it doesn't motivate me to come on to talk. It doesn't motivate me to participate in things. I'm just not motivated. All right. And here's my thing. There's a couple topics that I had on Wyatt Live last year and maybe a little bit of 2025. I don't really remember. But we talked about Don's school a little bit. And I kept my mouth shut. Okay. I kept my shit to myself. And as soon as you're that guy who says something or criticizes a certain thing or speaks truth about certain things, people look at you as a hater, or, when you start saying some shit that's real, they don't really want to have them conversations because it might have something to do with some truth. You understand what I'm saying? Like it might have something to do with why some of the problems are the way they are instead of what you've been talking about or how you want to pan this thing out to be. But here's my question. Has anyone really been talking strongly about Don's school shutting down? I'm going to take a stab and guess and say no. And the reason why is because nobody really hammered it or said anything When I say said anything, I don't mean just mentioned it and then said move on past the salt. I'm talking about, has anybody really said anything about the problem of the kids being downtown fighting, the police chief calling out Don's school for not being part of the solution? Has anybody ever really said anything or brought that up or hammered it or tried to find a solution or said anything about it? I'm just curious because now we're getting even deeper into the problem of seeing misappropriated funds. And who didn't see that? Who didn't see that? Who didn't see an individual that wanted purple buses? The state law, state requirement are yellow buses. Who didn't see graduation parties in parking lots of liquor stores? Where was the red flags? Were those things discussed? I'm just curious because I brought them up on my platform. I brought them up. I brought it up a little bit. I didn't hammer in on it because I knew where it was going. I knew what they would say. It was me hating on Davenport. It was me hating on Davenport. It was me, there's a black man attacking a black man. No, how about me having some interest in some kids and saying, hey, what's going on? And if it would have been discussed and talked about, then we would have this other conversation right now about, well, look at these graduates. Look at these guys and girls that are in the 12th grade right now that just had their senior year, that they probably work harder. And I don't mean to, be funny about this, but when you have kids that have obstacles in their life, like maybe children, maybe they have anger issues, they have to work a little bit harder to graduate from school because they have a lot more going on in their life than the average kid. So these type of problems, when we get to the point where the school has to shut down for financial reasons, this could have been talked about and dealt with a long time ago. And maybe some people would have had some plans of how to fix the school year for 12th graders a month before they graduate. We don't like to have them type of conversations because it might fix a real problem. I took a hit on that one. I got so many DMs, and some of the people that know me know because I talked to them off the air. And, they were like, man, you might want to leave that one alone, man. Everybody know, but don't nobody want to talk about that. And I'm like, okay, I'm cool with it. I won't bring it up. I won't talk about it anymore either. But nobody says anything about those kids and what those kids have to go through now. I mean, if you look back at some of the abuse that's been going on with the money, you have to question if some of the graduates are legitimate graduates. Because from my understanding, there was so much going on that nobody wants to talk about because it might open up a can of worms of all the other shit that was going on. We had a guest on, well, I wouldn't want to call her a guest, but she watches the show and she called in. She called in and was talking about she went over and volunteered some time over there one time. And it was so disrespectful. Like they're not working, they're not learning anything. They just sitting around listening to music all day. They be very disrespectful. The guys was hitting on me. They was this and they was that. Those type of conversations. I mean, when you hear stuff like that, you got to ask yourself, why is a place like that taking money and producing this type of person, these type of kids and not giving these kids a chance? Do you really want a school or a situation where kids are put in a situation where they don't have to try, don't have to learn, just somebody getting money off of them and passing them through, and then they handed them off to society, and now what's the expectations of that kid? I'm just curious. And I didn't personally attack Davenport. Matter of fact, there's some people that's watching right now that know that I had almost done business with Mr. Davenport, and I walked out. I walked out 5 minutes into the conversation. What's this and what's that? And I'm like, okay, cool. Thank you. Thanks for your time. And I bounced. Didn't feel right. There's a difference between talking about a subject and just mentioning it. There's a huge difference. Because when you're mentioning something, you're not really trying to solve the problem. You mention it, you get a couple giggles and some laughs and some, oh, that's a damn shame. And then you say, pass the salt. What's on the next? What's on the menu? But when you discuss it, there's room for solution. There's room for problem solving. There's room for, hey, what's really going on? So now, Michelle Hardy said it was never about helping children. It was about helping their own pockets. I mean, that was clear. I mean, listen, I know not everyone that was involved in that school was a bad person. You had teachers there that love what they do so much that they were teaching there and not getting paid. Do you know how hard it is to go to a job and do your job, and it's a tough job, and now the money messed up, and it's been messed up for a while, and you're getting promissory notes. You're getting a, well, we'll get this together. We got this going on. And you start hearing all these different excuses, but yet the teachers stuck around, and they stuck around for the kids. They stuck around for the children because they like what they do. They love what they do. So no, I am not going to sit here and say everybody that was there was abusing and was taking money and this, because that wouldn't be fair and it wouldn't be accurate. But the truth of the matter is there was fraud and abuse and all that stuff going on. And it was very clear. And to be honest with you, I knew when I talked about it months ago, I knew that there were federal investigations going on months prior to the discussion in public. It's just not my place to bring that up until it becomes public, and then I'll talk about it. There are teachers there. There are people running programs there that are legitimate people. And they were taken advantage of just like the kids. And it's just sad. And you got to look at the fact of how much effort was put into what was going on in the community. Like when you got 70-year-old men being slapped or punched in the face and tires thrown at kids, or excuse me, kids throwing tires at a 70-year-old, you got to look back and say, where is this coming from? What's going on? And see, let me just say this to you, because I just got back from Chicago and I don't want to come down on my city. See, I represent Cincinnati, whether you like what I say or not. I represent Cincinnati to the fullest. When I leave and go somewhere else and they tell me where I'm from, I don't say Florida. I say I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. So I don't want to make this a Cincinnati kid thing. Y'all got to understand. This is going on everywhere. While I was in Chicago, they were doing teenage downtown takeovers. This is the reason why I didn't go to Chicago for all this time, because of the fact that you have a mayor there that gives these children every excuse in the world of why they're downtown doing break-ins, takeovers, street takeovers, all this shit. It is going on in Chicago. It is going on in different cities. It is not just Cincinnati. I seen some video. Y'all know people send me stuff in the DM or in the Wyatt Live group, things of that nature. I seen the fights that was going on over the weekend in downtown Cincinnati. And all I'm saying to myself is, okay, that's Cincinnati. But I had some video clips of the kids fighting in Chicago. It was the same thing. Do you understand? It was just the same shit. This is not a Cincinnati children problem. This is a kid problem from this culture. And to be honest with you, I can't say this, I can't stress it enough. It's not a kid problem. This is a parent problem. The two parents we described earlier, the one that'll whoop your ass, don't exist. The one that is willing to, leverage your goodies is not enough. We got a parent problem. Because damn it, there was no way in hell that I would go downtown and cause the type of ruckus that some of these kids are doing, breaking in cell phone places, doing these crash and grab type of situations. And my mama, I got to go home and deal with my mama if I get caught. The mama that's going to knock my head off. In my case, I didn't want to deal with that. Or how about the mother that was going to not let me go outside or was going to punish me, leverage all the things that I love? I didn't want to deal with that. And we're talking hundreds of kids. So guess what? That means we got hundreds of parents that are allowing their kids to be around ruckus and mess and dumb shit. Kids will do what you allow them to do. And when you don't, look, I say this all the time. The streets will out-hustle parents. And that's it. I'm a little disgusted at us always blaming the kids. I'm just being honest with you. Because I don't know one kid that asked to be born. But I know parents that sit back and have children that they're not ready for. And I know I'm about to get some blowback for that, but we all know. We all know that there's parents that have no business with kids. And if you don't have any business with kids, stop having another one and another one and another one. Stop. Because what we're learning is this. Sometimes people's bad decisions don't always just hurt the people that's making the bad decision. It hurt a lot of innocent people. It hurt a lot of people around us. It hurt me. It hurts you. It makes things difficult for us. So when we start having all these bad decision makers, there's a huge repercussion for that. So we got to stop blaming the kids all the damn time, because I, quite frankly, believe now there's going to be an exception to the rule. You're going to have a great parent that just raised a bad kid, because sometimes kids get lost in the sauce and they get mixed up in things that they have no business in. That happens. But in most cases, there's some parents here that understand and know what their kid is out here doing. And they throw their hands up at a certain point and they hand the kid over to someone else to deal with them. Let me go to the phone lines before I get out of here. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Good afternoon, Randall Wyatt. This is Fame Rothstein.
Fame Rothstein, good afternoon to you, brother. How you doing?
Absolutely outstanding. If I were any better, I'd be twins.
Okay, well that's probably a great feeling then. What's on your mind, Fame? How you doing?
No, just as I was losing hope for the show today, like damn, some bullshit.
Yeah,
you saved it at the end.
Okay.
Because we need to quit blaming kids for everything that's going on in the Black community. Most of these children are nothing but reflection of what they see on a daily basis, meaning their household, their parents, their caretakers, whoever's in charge of these kids. All they're doing is reflecting what they see. If they go home to a 30, 40-year-old dad who likes to wear sneakers and saggy pants and whatnot, that's what they're going to be when they become teenagers. If they got a mom who's out here doing twerk videos with the kids in the background and things like that, that's what they're going to be when they become teenage females. Okay. That's one thing about the Black community. We always blame the youth, and not only do we blame them, we insult them for no reason at all. You don't even know them. The first time you got caught as a Black male, the first time somebody questions your manhood was an old Black man, probably 60 years old with white hair, called you a punk for no reason at all.
I hear you.
Or called you soft.
I hear you. I'm on page with you, but I don't agree with everything you're saying. So there's room.
Well, no, you don't have to. But again, this is Fame Rothstein. I bring up the negatives. I blow up the negatives so that you can see the bigger picture. Apparently, you see the bigger picture.
Well, Fame, here. You do know that there's an exception to the rule. That's the only reason why I do not agree with you wholeheartedly, is because there are some excellent parents out here that just lost control of their kid. Okay. And to be honest with you, man, like I've quite honestly know a few parents, they just got out hustled a different kind of way. All right. And what I mean by that, brother, is this. I think you're right. Okay. But I think here's what I don't like the gesture of it being black families like what you said. And the reason being is because I know some what they call poor white trash who kids do the same thing that they poor white trash parents do. So I want to call it a parenting thing because white parents are not the perfect parents either. It's a culture thing. It's a how you raise your kid thing. And if you're right, Fame, if you got a 15-year-old son and a 30-year-old mother, that is very realistic because that was my situation personally, right, Fame? Right? So when you got a 30-year-old mama out here still listening to the shit that their son is listening to, damn near the same music, that same attitude, that same behavior is coming. If the mother is living like that music, how do you think the son gonna turn out? So I see what you're saying, but there are some parents out here, bro, that are 30 years old with a 15-year-old son, and that 30-year-old mother is doing everything she possibly can to provide for that son, but she can't be in that son's life 24/7. And the culture makes that son take risks that he really wouldn't take, only because the mother is out maybe working and missing some of that time in that kid's life. You understand what I'm saying? It might not be that mother is that type of mother that's living that same type of culture. Maybe that mother made a 15-year-old or a 14-year-old mistake, and she decided to keep the kid, but yet work at the bank, work somewhere, and she can't be in this kid's life every day. And you know for a fact, growing up where you grew up, that peer pressure is very heavy. And I'm going to say this about the kids today, and you can have the floor after this comment, Fame. I think that peer pressure in today's society is much worse, is heavier than it was when we grew up, because they have technology being social media today, and they could be influenced all day, every day without even going outside. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Hell no, I don't agree with that. We had peer pressure. We had different kind of peer pressure. We had physical peer pressure. Our generation, like if you couldn't play some type of ball, you had no respect in the hood.
Oh, come on, bro! Everybody in the hood.
If you couldn't hoop, play football, run fast as hell.
I don't.
Because you could as a 10-year-old, you could steal a dude's girlfriend if you were faster than him.
Well, yeah, but
you know what I'm saying.
So
if you wasn't athletically superior from our generation, I'm talking our generation. Yeah, we didn't have technology. That go insult people on a Facebook or something like that.
But that's my whole point.
But we had word of mouth to say, yeah, that nigga Wyatt can't run.
But that's my point though, bro. Like today's society, I hear where you're coming from, Fame. I don't want to disagree. I just think we're on the same page. I just think that we need to get to the same spot in this argument. And the reason why I say that is this. I just think back in our day, a rumor could only go so far. Now, today's society, a rumor can go from Cincinnati to Florida like that. And now all of a sudden you got 2,000 people that read a post about you. Some know you, some don't know you. And that could, it may not, 109, let's just say 1,998 people of that 2,000 don't even care. But the fact that you as a kid seeing 2,000 reactions to something that somebody said about you, that could actually be more influential and guide you. And I just think that could be more influential in today's society, that you got 2,000 eyes on somebody that says something about you versus just the people in our neighborhoods when we was growing up. You see what I'm saying? And that could cause, that's why suicide.
Go back 45 years ago when you were a preteen and a young teen. All you cared about was the next 6 blocks.
Well, Fame, here's
the question. How they know my name in the next community, blah, 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 over there?
That's my point.
It's just the universe gives you everything you need.
When you were growing up in Cincinnati, what part of town did you grow up in Cincinnati?
I grew up in 45225.
Okay, so you Westwood, you West Side. Okay, you're a West Side
guy.
Do you think cats downtown knew you? No,
It depends
people
on,
in
it depends
Avondale
on how they
didn't
knew
know
me.
you.
No, there's certain people.
Avondale
There's
didn't
certain
know
people
you.
who play ball. You knew him in every community.
Okay, you might have
You've
been
heard
able to
his
go
name
to a
ring his bell
court.
in every neighborhood.
But what I'm saying to you, Fame, is in today's society, you could be from Winton Terrace and these cats know you in every community because of social media.
Again, it's we weren't as global back then. It's a global
I
society
know,
now.
that's my
So yeah,
point.
they're gonna think bigger.
Right.
But back then, the next 6 blocks were a big deal.
But that's your block. That's your 6 blocks, bro. That's not
Exactly.
the entire Cincinnati.
Exactly.
You could be a guy from Winton Terrace right now in Cincinnati, and everybody will know you from downtown Winton Terrace, A1, all the way out to Lincoln Heights. Everybody will know you from a post. People, that's why they call it friends on social media. They're not your friend, but they know you. They know how you moving. And if somebody say something about you on a post, you got 10,000 people in the city of Cincinnati reading that post and know who you are, and they think that about you. We didn't have that problem when we was kids. We only had to deal with 10 or 15 people,
which were legendary. Oh, that was the circle you had to deal with back then.
Let me ask you a question,
the universe gives you everything you need.
Fame,
they have everything they need to deal with all of the stuff they dealing with.
Fame, let me ask you a question, brother. Because
back then, hold on, just as you were a smaller society back then.
Right.
So you only dealt with the next few people.
I know.
That's all, but that was a lot of people who don't know you but know your name.
But you're making my
that
point.
Wasn't always a good thing. No, you're making my point.
No, you're not. No, I'm not. You're making my point.
If we feel like we're making each other's point, then just move on.
Okay, well, let me ask you this question. Last question in regards to this topic. Do you think that the suicide rate of kids are higher now or lower than when we were kids?
I don't know, because when I was a kid, all I knew was black kids, and
if I had to guess,
it's very rare for a black person to kill themselves.
Well, I know 2 highly successful parents whose children killed themselves in the last decade, and they're black parents. And I think that black kids today, unfortunately, this is not a brag, this is not a boast, this is to prove my point. I think more black kids today are more accepted to kill themselves than they were when we were children. And you know why? Because of social media. What? Because of social media. I think social media adds an extra pressure to kids, and it makes them, sometimes it's not even real what they're messed up about. You feel me, Fame? Like, they might not feel as big as somebody that's faking it on the internet. They may not feel like they are in place with some people that are actually faking and frauding. They may not feel like they're worthy or they're part of something against people that's making up fake fraud stuff. You couldn't do that back in our day. Everybody wore straight leg Levi's with canvas Converse, and everybody lived in the hood. Nobody was richer than anybody. Now you got people on the internet. I don't know what they're doing to look like they make $1 million a day, but they're doing it, and they're faking frauding it. And it's making other kids that don't have that type of lifestyle, it's making them feel less than. And when they do shit like that, that opens up the door for suicide or going into the wrong path and working with people that you ain't got no business working with or being with those folks. I think today's kid is just like, okay, Fame, all those kids in downtown Cincinnati that was involved in that fight, what was most of them doing that wasn't in the fight? What were they doing? See how
I'm not sure which fight you're referring to.
I'm talking about the latest one in downtown where the kids was running around and everybody was watching the kids fight downtown during the last, what was the big thing downtown, the latest thing downtown? What was the latest?
Opening day?
Opening day. You didn't see all those kids down there fighting on Cincinnati Reds opening day? Okay, well, maybe
honestly, I didn't. I'm sorry, I missed that.
Fame. My point is this,
I can imagine though, but go ahead.
Okay, my point is this. When you see a group of people, a group of these kids down there fighting, most of them are not even involved, bro. But what are they doing? They're watching it, and guess what else they're doing? Recording it. Most of them have their cell phones out to record that shit, to put it where? On the internet. See what I'm saying? That internet, that social media platform is a huge deterrent. I mean, it is a problem for what's going on with the behaviors in this culture. It is steroids. It is Popeye's spinach for knucklehead people. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, bro? And that's why if a parent, it's much easier for a parent to lose a kid in today's society than it was when we were children. That's my opinion, no fame. I'm no doctor. I'm just saying that's my opinion. And I think we have enough tools to be able to prove what I'm saying is true. I mean, look at the suicide rate today versus when we were children.
I mean, I guess. I mean, yeah. That doesn't surprise me. I just don't buy the notion that these kids have this advantage or disadvantage through previous generations or whatnot. I just get sick of hearing
let me ask you
generational stuff. It's annoying, and it's just a pretext, just a pretext for nonsense. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I hear you, brother, but I think there's a lot of I think there's some truth to the fact that, well, even back in our day, you may not have been a knucklehead child, okay? You may not have been a hellraiser, but at one point you hung around some people that you were going to be that for that weekend, all right? So yes, influence helped us, informed us, and gave us certain things to do, and we knew we shouldn't have been in those situations at certain times. We knew better, but we did it anyway. I know I did. I'll speak for myself. But at the same time, I don't know if I would be the same man I am today if I had to deal with what the children have to deal with today. If I had the resources that they have, the internet, all this influence, this fake ass influence, the rap game, the music of today is way different than it was when we were coming up. You got rappers and shit. Look at all the murder and the RICO cases that's going on right now in the music industry. Look at that. And look at their clients. Look at the people they're speaking to in their music. That's the kids that are down there fighting and shit. All that stuff is a cultural nucleus. It's all one thing. You see what I'm saying?
No, the only difference is the moral decay of society. Everything that goes on with today shows a moral decay from the mouthy, aggressive, non-cooking woman hold on, please let me finish. Let me stretch this out real quick. Hold on, let me say this.
You have the floor. Go ahead.
Everything about that is about the moral decay of society, even the stuff that the kids value today. Back then, with our old asses, it was not a good thing to be labeled as a bad person, a bad guy, a bad teenager going to 2020. We all knew the address of the juvenile jail, despite not even knowing where the hell it was. But we knew that 2020 was where they send the bad kids. We knew back then we were stressed to not be that. These guys today, it's okay being a bad guy.
Okay, I gotta stop.
Being a rotten person.
I gotta stop you right there.
I mean, we've got local athletes rigging dice games.
Okay, I gotta
for millions of dollars.
I gotta stop you right there. I grew up in a society where it was cool to be a bad guy.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
I'm sorry to tell you. I mean, you're a few years older than me, but it's never been cool from our generation to go over to 2020. When you were a bad guy, you were ostracized by everybody.
No,
if you went to the juvenile jail, if you carried a gun, the next 5 kids wouldn't rock with you.
I don't agree with that. I think I agree to a certain extent, because what you just said kind of cleaned up your point. If you carried a gun, or if you was that type of bad guy, you're right. There was people that wouldn't deal with you because they mamas and they daddies told them not to. I get it. Or they wasn't built like that. But I'm telling you, brother, I'm from the era, the 90s era, where it was cool to be a bad guy. That's why movies like Scarface and all the other movies in that category were so popular. And who did they root for? They didn't root for the police. They didn't root for the narcs. They rooted for the bad guy because it was cool to be bad. And who did the girls always navigate to? The bad guy. The bad guys always got the girls. That's from our era, bro. Come on now. Let's not just put it on these kids. It come from us too.
No.
Okay. Well, I guess it's from you, girl. I guess it's where you grow up.
There was never a bigger cheer in a movie audience when Bishop got flown off the roof. There was never a bigger cheer in a movie audience when Wesley Snipes got when Nino got thrown off the stairs.
Bruh. Stop playing.
We didn't root for bad guys.
Stop playing, bro.
You know,
Stop
that's
playing.
a damn lie.
Let me ask you
No,
something.
that's a damn
Let me
lie.
ask you
No,
something.
Real
Talk, bro. Real talk. Were you one of the guys that's been waiting for New Jack City 2?
No.
Okay, there was a lot of people waiting for New Jack City 2. They thought Nino was going to get up from that fall. And you know why they thought Nino was going to get up from that fall? Because everybody looked up to Nino. I didn't look up to Nino, but I grew up in that. Bro, I'm from that. I know the reason why people.
Where it emerged.
Let me say something to you, brother. This is something going to shock the world, okay? Except some of my brothers. Steve Spencer on here, he'll tell you the truth about what I'm about to say. Most guys from the block never had to sell dope. They had the greatest mothers. They had the best uncles. They had good people around them. They didn't have to do the dope game. You know why we got in the dope game? Because it was popular. Because it was cool to be the dope boy. Because everybody looked up to you. It was instant gratification, and you got paid. That's why everybody navigated to that end of the world. It wasn't because, well, man, my mama got to eat. Man, I got to put food on the table for the family. Mama was getting that shit done. You was out here buying tracksuits and buying ounces and shit and selling weed and all this old shit because you thought that shit was cool and fly. That's why they do it. It ain't got nothing to do with my mama's Section 8 ain't getting paid, so I got to pay it. See what I'm, nah, that's some bullshit. And that's some of that myth shit that we need to get off of, bro. That's the myth shit that's not real about how we grow up in the hood. Everybody think everybody got to be a criminal. And that's people that we know the truth. We ain't got to be. I chose to do what I did because I wanted to be that. You know, if I was raised to want to be a doctor, I would be raised like when I raised my daughters and they wanted to be doctors and shit like that. I bought them little bitty doctor nurses and little doctor outfits and pretended that I was the patient and let them put Band-Aids on me and all that shit. So they grew up thinking that that shit was cool, and that's why they becoming doctors. But when I was a little boy, I had to look at Pike and people like that selling drugs in my neighborhood, and they were highlighted in my neighborhood as being the one with the money. I want to be like that. I didn't need to sell no damn dope, or none of my friends had to sell dope to help pay for no damn Section 8. We all got food stamps and paid $27 a month. You ain't got to sell no damn weed or no crack to sell, pay no damn law home rent. Stop it. Stop it. And we got to stop acting like the reason why we got in the game is because of all these pressures and that was the only thing we could do. No, it's not. That's what was put in front of you. That's why Scarface was the number one movie. And that's why Paid in Full made Damon Dash all this money. And that's why movies like that, our kids gravitate to shit like that because they think it's cool. Why do you think it's cool to listen to this drill music these kids listening to? Because that's their culture and they getting into it no different than what we did back in our day. It's just worse. We never had to sell drugs to live. We never had to sell drugs.
Well, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, last point. And I promise you can have the floor. We as a culture, as Black people in the neighborhood, we never had to sell drugs. We sold them because it was a lifestyle, brother. And you can ask any former dope dealer. I got friends that then did 2-3 numbers. And if you ask them the truth, not one sitting in the jail right now because he's still mad. I'm talking about if you ask somebody that paid their debt to society, why did you do what you did, man? Who made you do that shit? Most of them, if they real men, look at you and be like, man, I made them decisions, man. I did that shit on my own. I didn't get framed. I didn't get set up. I made them decisions. I wanted Vanessa. See, we do that shit for the money and for the popularity and the girls. That's what it was, bro, because most of us was so busted and disgusted. We wanted to be the one that everybody looked at like had some things, okay? And it's just the truth, fame. And I personally I get offended when I hear people say that all I had to do was take this package over there and I made $100 because that'd be some bullshit. You got to do a lot out on these streets to make $100. That was some old fake shit they used to say back in the day. The little boy took the bag from one apartment building to the other apartment building and he made $100 and that linked him in. Now he's hooked to be a drug. That's some bullshit. Most drug dealers, fame, got into selling dope because of the lifestyle. It wasn't the necessity of making money. That was the idea. But it wasn't because we couldn't pay our Section 8 and mama didn't have enough food stamps. That's some bullshit. Your flow.
Yeah, you went kind of through the maze there for about 10 minutes. But
I take it personal.
not that anything you said was wrong, was just kind of veered a lot from the original points. But
I'm sorry. I may have thrown
no,
a couple.
sorry,
I'm
no,
sorry.
sorry.
I may have thrown a couple curves. But see, it came from what you said, Fame. I'll remind you of what you were talking about. When you said that the bad guys in these movies are not, that's not what people were looking for. They were cheering against the bad guys. And I'm saying, no, they weren't. Everybody loved Tony Montana. Everybody loved Nino Brown. Everybody loved the dudes in Paid in Full. Some people left the damn movie theater trying to be that same fucking night, looking for a connect that night. You understand what I'm saying? If you from where we from, now you might not be from that, but where we from,
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Now where we from, we left the motherfucking movie theater like I'm about to find the plug. You know what I'm saying? Where that motherfucker at? I mean, that's just how easy influential those type of movies and music were to our culture, and we're paying the price for it today. No. And guess what, bro? The last final point of this: we weren't out in Mason and Westchester and Gulf Manor. We weren't in those neighborhoods selling drugs. Everybody I know, I'm from downtown. If we went to another neighborhood to sell dope, it was always another black neighborhood. Or I shouldn't say we. If they went to another neighborhood to sell dope, if you was from downtown, you might front a motherfucker from Avondale. It was a circle of spreading all that dope and shit in the black neighborhoods. Very limited of that was going out to the white neighborhoods. The only time you were serving white people is when they drove downtown to cop. But none of these dope boys was going to the white neighborhoods setting up shop. So you're doing more harm to our own neighborhoods and to our own people than anything. But yet we got all these myths to go by and all this reason of why we did it and all that old bullshit. It's garbage. It's trash, bro. And until we really want to solve the problem, you got to really hear the truth. You can't sit off here and get the truth from made up bullshit. You got to deal with what's real if you ever going to solve a problem.
Excuse me.
Put the weed down, Fame. Put the weed down.
I need to go get some water. I agree with everything you're saying.
Choking on them facts, huh?
Again,
choking on them facts,
huh? From the original point. But it's all good, though. It's always a pleasure. It's been real. I'm glad you're back. You know, the last 2 weeks, it was kind of like, damn, where's the 1 o'clock show at?
Hey, Fame, let me ask you a question about that, if I may. I value your opinion. What do you think if we moved to 5 o'clock? Would you still visit us? Or is that a tough time for you?
Yeah, but not. Actually, yeah. Okay. But I was just gonna say, but not for very long. But I'll be there.
I just need your ear for a second, brother. That's all. I'm really thinking about backing us up to 5 o'clock. My schedule, bro, has been ridiculous. The last couple of weeks I've been in Chicago, but I really, man, you know, there's a lot going on. And look, I want everybody to, I play fair. I want everybody to get what they need or get what they want. And if that means listening to me, that's cool. If they want to go listen somewhere else, that's cool too. I don't want anybody here, Fame, that don't want to be here. You feel me on that? Like you wouldn't want a kid on your baseball team if he don't really want to play, but his mama or his daddy making him play. You don't really want that kid. So I feel that same way about the podcast and the audience. I don't want people that only agree with me. I just want people that is willing to say, hey, you know, I don't agree with that, but you know what? I see where you're going. Or not making it so difficult to make a point. You feel me? Like I'm not a monster because we think different. You're not a monster to me because you think different than me. You see what I'm saying? Or I don't want people to hate Fame because Fame have a different opinion or a different stance on certain things. I don't want them to hate you because you talk bad about black people, black women. I don't want them to hate you. I'm just saying.
I don't want them to hate me for that either. It's just I'm just gonna tell you the facts on that shit. You close your mouth and open your oven. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I hear you, bro. But you listen. I hear you, but come on, Frank. Don't do it like that. Just you can have some valid points at times, but what'll mess it up is when you come with this delivery of women just need to shut up and get in the kitchen. And that's not true, bro. Like women bring so much more to this. Look, without women, we wouldn't be who we are today. You or myself.
Okay.
All right, Fame. Hey, thanks for calling, man. I appreciate you. That 2025 holdout went by pretty fast. Thanks, Fame. That was Fame engaged, and I appreciate Fame calling in. I didn't plan on being here very long. I really didn't. I got a lot going on. I was supposed to be out of here. I have a 3:30 appointment, and I guess what time is it? Let me see. Sorry, guys. I'm still trying to learn how to work this equipment. Bounty. I'm still trying to learn how to work this equipment. So I got about 10, 15 more minutes. Let me get the phone lines and we'll go from there. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with? Hello?
Hey, what up, player?
Playboy, what's going on? Twin, what's happening with you, brother?
Yeah, my boy back in the bed. What's up, fam?
I'm doing okay. How about you, man? I thought about you a little bit. I was stepping.
Yeah,
I had
my
to
guys,
use my hall
they
pass.
told
Thanks
me
to
you was
Twin.
up there.
Yeah.
I said, fall back on.
Thanks to Twin, I had a hall pass.
They was right there in the alleyway. Right there. You know where the alley at, right?
Well, yeah, me and my
Where
wife.
Ocean Prime sit right there, and there's an alley right there.
I do know what you're talking about, and I felt very safe.
Yeah, they're right there waiting for you.
I felt safe. I felt safe. I had a hall pass signed off by Twin. I was good. Shit. I felt better than I felt in years.
Hey, Wyatt.
What's up, man?
Some cultural museum exhibit.
Yeah.
Hey, they be off the chain, man. Because you got
very nice.
You got different culture from Chinese, African, Caribbean, all type, Thailand, and I was a shorty. I visit all that, because I always wanted to go downtown, and I got mad at my sister and brothers. They wouldn't take me. Okay. So me and my brother caught the L when we was like 10 years old. We got lost in everything. I was like, hey, how you get back home? And they told I always wanted to go downtown. So they wouldn't never take us. So we jumped the L train and took the train down there.
Hey, quick, bro. Let me tell you what I did. I did some shit. I gotta tell you. You'll know. I got on the L train, but I got permission. Not permission. I got advice from the guy. I took pictures. I'm on the L train. I've always wanted to ride the top tier L train. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to get on that sucker, man, but I didn't want to go too far because if you go too far out and you leave downtown, that's your ass. You know that, right? So I got on the L train. My wife stayed back. She didn't want to go with me because she ain't on the type of shit that I'm on. But I get on the L train and I ride out to, I don't know exactly where it was.
You was on the red line or the blue line?
I was on the red line, bro. I was on the red line. So I really wanted to, I was risking it. I wanted to get out a little bit further than I normally get, man. I didn't wear my Sunday best. I didn't wear my best. I just wore the all black with the black kicks, just in case. I wasn't trying to fight and all that old shit, but I just was trying not to get robbed. All right. So I risked it. I took the L ray. I went out and did a neighborhood turn, got off, got back on the L, coming back downtown, and I had a great time. I took pictures and videos, and I can't wait to share it with you.
What, you went out south?
I had
White Sox Stadium and all that.
I went south. I went I went as far as the gas stations that way. You feel what I'm saying? Once you get past the gas
station. Out 79.
I was told if I go past the gas stations that I'm entering at my own risk. That's what I was told. So I didn't go past. And I got a brother, Rufus Johnson. That's my dude that was my hall pass back when I was a little guy. So I kind of remember some of the things back then, but things changed. When I used to rock with Rufus, Cabrini Green was still there. You feel what I'm saying? So
you talking about 20, 30 years, man.
Well, I mean, I've known him my entire life, just about. I think I met Rufus when I was 17 years old. So he became somewhat, I hate to say it like this, but he came in my life and introduced me to some things. And I was young. I was 20. So yeah. He's
a cool kid though, because we talked about stuff and it was hard for me to go out west. Cause I was messing with this broad out there, and you have to travel and the vice lord all now, in war. And he dudes like, hey, you can't come out here. I'm from out south and all that. I had to, get acquainted with them. Hey, what the hoes at it, and then
how did I know that's what you were going out there for?
They don't like Southside guys, man. So
here's why I went, because I watched a show called The Shy. Okay, I watched this TV show called The Shy, And what I was told is in this path are the houses that's involved in the movie, in the series, The Chi. So I went to some of the areas that they shoot live in The Chi. Of course, they're not out there shooting now, but I wanted to witness and see some of the things in the series, The Chi. Do you watch that? Have you ever watched that?
Hell yeah, I watch.
Okay.
I
Then you
can't
know what
keep
I'm
up
talking
with
about.
it no more though.
South Side is cool, but it gets dangerous. So I didn't go too far south. I just was on the edge, but I was able to see. They don't even push the show all the way into the South Side. They won't even do
No,
that.
they don't. They go in. I seen them on D Rose block one time. I was like, oh, that's 73rd right there.
Yeah, they not going
Marshfield.
too
And
deep.
then they don't go no further than that.
Right. I mean,
and I'm like, man, y'all go shoot it right. Because I didn't like the movie, because I think Spike Lee got the Chi movie, right? He came out with that movie.
Chirac. He came out with
Chirac.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't like that because he didn't really get down how Chicago got down and all that. I'm like, man, don't do that in Chicago. I'll stop watching the movie, man. Okay. And because he didn't bring the Chicago noise like Chicago is and everything. So that's why I had stopped watching. Well, but why don't ever do no singing live in the car no more? I don't think your family knows.
Which song did you like the best? Hold on. I got a question. Which song did you like the best?
Which song? Shit, for the looks of your daughter and your wife, neither one.
Well, I've been working on my vocals lately. And I mean, certain songs I can sing. I can sing at a piano.
The way your wife's face expression, I was dying. She's like, she get that look like, oh, baby, you gotta chill with this.
She don't like doing shit like that. She don't like singing, and that's why I said the difference. I even titled it "The Difference Between the Wyatt Women." My kids will sit back and rap with me and sing with me, and we'll just holler the whole song. We'll holler the whole song. My wife is just different. She don't want to hear it like that. My wife is the type that wants to sit at the piano with me, and she wants me to sing her a melody. She wants me to sing her something in real life, like for real, because I can do that. But I can't sing like Aaron Hall. Okay, I can't sing my favorite songs like Guy and Keith. Oh, I can sing, but I probably can get Keith Sweat. I don't know if y'all seen Keith lately, but Keith ain't doing it like he used to. I mean, he up there, and deep is my love. I don't know. And he got to have a cup in his hand. And I'm telling you how deep that cup is. That's what it is, bro. What's in that cup with Keith Sweat every concert that he's doing lately. But yeah, Twin Man, look, I enjoyed Chi. I don't know.
I know you did, because I've been there one time, and like I said, they do the Thurs popcorn, man. They used to do it. You know how Olive Garden bring out that bread and salad? Mm-hmm. They used to do it back then. I don't know if they still do, but they did it back then. Because my brother put me up on it, because he had I guess he said the medium rare good for you and everything. Keep your bloodstream going. I had got it medium rare. I had tasted for the first time. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, I'm going here. So I went there. Man, there's one chick and everything. And I'm like, man, I like this. So yeah, when you say you put up Ocean Pride, I'm like, that's my stomach, girl. I did that like twice and everything. And you go around the corner, you got Giordano. And I used to go to Eddie's right there. Eddie's Diner, they good food too.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a lot of stuff. But
Chi, and I'll be honest with you, if Chi didn't have so much going on with the crime rate and all that, let me make a plug real fast. Hold on, let me make this. Let me make this. Let me make this. Let me make this one plug real fast, because I didn't tell my brother I was going to do it, but I want to do it just in GP. For those that I didn't primed up, I didn't talk good about Prime, Ocean Prime, and all this old shit, and Garrett's and all that. You can't go to Chicago without going. And I don't know the name of it, but you can find it on his Facebook page. You cannot go to Chicago without going to the best smoothie shop in the city of Chicago. It is Mike. It is Mike Martin's smoothie shop in Chicago. The brother called me and I was like, I can't make it. I'm leaving today. I meant to do this earlier. Mike Martin has a smoothie shop in the city of Chicago. If you go to Chicago, make sure you visit his smoothie shop.
Where is it, on Navy Pier or something?
No, it's not. I can't. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll try to get that address right now, because he did hit me and he sent me a message. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put it out there right now. Give me 1 second, because I owe him that mention. Let's see here. I owe him that mention because Mike Martin's done a lot for the city of Cincinnati. He really has. And let me see if I have it here. He sent me a message, and I want to make sure I get him the address because he sent me the address. He said, "Come on over, bro." And I was like, "I'm about to leave." And come on, Mike, where is it? If anybody know off the top of your head, I'm trying to recover the message. I don't know if he DM me or if he text me, and it'll take me all forever to Sunday. He sent me a message. I think he might have texted me, but as I say that, it'll be in my DM. But he did send me a message, and he said that he wanted me to come over and get the best smoothie in the city. And if anybody knows the address or what the name of his smoothie, I'll tell you what, let me just look him up real fast. That'll be the best way to do it. I'm sorry. Twin, what else you got on your mind, man? You tell me, and then I'm gonna
Well, your boy Fame, man.
Fame. Okay.
I hate this. Fame Rusty. Come on, man. It was up to you, to get that pack, White. Didn't nobody force you to sell that pack, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Like me, man, said my uncles and, my dad and brothers and everybody else, gangsters I was around, making money. And I'm like, hey, I want to make some money too. So I grew up and then I started, doing my thing and all that. It's up to you, Wyatt. It's up to you to, to hustle. There ain't nobody forcing you to do. It's up to you to take off with the kids, man. It's everywhere, man. Just like the other day, when I had opening day here at the Red, man, dude got jumped, man. Kids jumped this dude down there on the bank.
I seen it. That's what someone sent me.
And so you wind up and wonder why, oh, my kid was a good student. He was this, honor roll football and all that, and he ended up dead. You can't get mad. That's your loss. Because he want to be monkey see, monkey do, me too ass niggas. And so you can't get mad, man. And the new culture and everything it's different from our era, White. Way different. New Jack City put us on. Sell dope. Nino did to do that. He pushed the narrative of doing that to the community. So only time you made money, big money, White, and them white folks introduced you to the suburbans and all that, they put you out there. Like, hey, you can make more money. I got a lot of white folk, white buddies and stuff that snort cocaine or smoke that dope, whatever. And that's how because you couldn't go up to no damn, probably, what is this out here? Fairfield and all that, Westchester back in the day, you couldn't go out there to Schaumburg, Gurney, Illinois, or something like that. Right. Where them people at? You couldn't go back to then to sell no damn dope.
Right.
Them uppity people and all that.
But they do dope. They do dope though. They just don't buy dope on the corner.
They came in the city and got it at a point, at a stopping point, Wyatt, to get the dope. But when you start making money, when they kept coming and coming, hey man, I'm tired of coming. Hey, won't you just come out here to the birds and stuff? You'll be all right. You can make real money out here. You went from making 1,000, now you making 10 bands or 20 in the suburb, just sitting there because the Yankee put you on. Yeah, so that's how the white the guys got out there in the suburbs. That's how it is now. It's messed up, and that's why they coming back to downtown or whatever in any city. The white folks here, we pushed them out. Now they coming back. Now they put our ass in the suburbs and everything. So I don't know what thing. We're in a new era, man, and discipline and everything. Yeah, beat that ass and shit, beat them kids and stuff. But it was tough love, man. You do that now, them kids might punch your ass back. So we living in two different cultures right now, different eras right now. Because these kids right now, they on dummy, man. They on goofy for real. And then, facing time, why it only took me one time to learn my lesson. Even though I got out and everything, and I'm like, man, hell with this job. I want to see fast money. And my cousin and stuff, God bless his soul, he put me on before, he was facing Fed times, why? And he saw them numbers and he couldn't take it. From having a divorce coming on and then you facing Fed times because he was working for us, the federal, FedEx. He working for them and he did some goofy stuff and they came to him with them double digits, why? And he couldn't take it. He's supposed to have been at his brother party and I'm like, hey, what cuz it? He's supposed to be here. And his other baby mama checked him. He down there swinging it and everything. And messed around and, swinging with a rope off this South out here with a rope, man. And they put it all on him. No, cuz did that. And I always thought, I'm like, cuz, let me holler at you, all right? Yeah, I'm all right. No, you not all right. I know you. We grew up as brothers, man. Hustling, whatever, gang banging together. You not all right. I know what's something wrong with it. And and I hate it. And it hurt my heart to this day because I knew something was wrong. And I'm like, I told his sister, hey, he need help. Help him in everything, man. Oh, he gonna be all right. No, he not gonna be all right. He ain't the same person that I know. Have been around and he's too damn quiet. This ain't him, man. He lied. And to each his own though, man.
Okay.
I'm glad you had a blessed anniversary and everything, but I know, you check them receipts and all that for going to Chicago, boy, you better have some money, especially downtown. Magnificent Miles or whatever.
Yeah.
And all that, Michigan Avenue.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy. You
Well,
went from Gucci to Prada, all them stores down there.
Yeah,
Nike Town, forget that.
Yeah, my wife had a time down there. The thing is, bro, is I'm okay with paying for the convenience and the safety. You see what I'm saying? Like to be in Chicago, you're gonna pay more to be convenient and to be safe. And I don't have a problem with that because of course I can go get those meals further out, but I'm risking, there's a risk there and I'll probably pay half the amount, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. And I'm willing to pay. Look, Chicago, it's a shame that Chicago is where it's at when it comes to crime, because it's such a beautiful place. It's such a beautiful area. It's an entrepreneurial's dream. You see what I'm saying? And unfortunately, nobody really wants to live there other than Chicagoans. You never hear anyone saying, I'm moving to Chicago. You hear a lot of people saying, I'm moving out of Chicago. And it's unfortunate, but in order to be safe in Chicago, not just tourist people, but if you're a Chicagoan, you have to pay a large amount of money to be safe in that city. And no one's really safe because when I was there last week, there was a tourist that was shot in the shoulder by one of the kids that's doing the takeovers downtown, and they were doing it down by Navy Pier. And that was when we were about to leave. So I'm glad I didn't see any of that. I'm glad that I didn't witness any of it, but I know it's going on, bro. I know it's going on. And
it's crazy. And it's just not Chicago, though.
No, it's not.
You got Detroit and, here and everywhere. It's just a kid because let me tell you why. It's like a newspaper spreading around.
Let me say why I attack Chicago. Because the leadership is irresponsible in holding the people accountable that needs to be accounted for doing the things they're doing. When you're making up excuses for these kids doing what they do, I can't respect that as a leader. Okay, Cincinnati's mayor is not making up excuses for the children doing what they doing, or I wouldn't be respecting him either. See what I'm saying? If he was making up all these excuses, well, that's not really, this is the mayor of Chicago who make up excuses like, well, these are kids that are just out having a good time and things just get out of control. No, you're making up excuses for rowdy and rude behavior and just disrespectful children. The city of Cincinnati's mayor is not doing that. The city of Cincinnati's police chief is not doing that. They're actually activating things that can make a difference in trying to stop it. There's a difference. Some people actually facilitate those problems by allowing it to happen week in and week out. That's why they have 100 shootings in a weekend on a holiday in Chicago. You'll never see 100 shootings in Cincinnati in a weekend, or even half of that, or even a quarter of that. You'll never see that. And that's because Cincinnati handles its crime a little bit different. Now, I know Chicago's much bigger, but Chicago has a different mentality when it comes to crime as well. And the reason why their mentality is the way it is because the leadership is bad in Chicago. It's bad from the school system all the way to the police system, to the court system, to everything that if they really get to the root of the problem, they could fix it, but they have no intentions of fixing it.
They can fix. It's possible they can fix, but they don't want to. That's a hustle game, man. It's a hustle game. Turning them keys in their penitentiary or the county jail, it's a hustle for them.
That's right.
If they don't do that, lock a person up, do this, it's a hustle. No, forget them. Let them do what they do. We'll get our money later.
All right. Twin, what else you got, man? I'm
yeah.
up with this. I gotta go, man. I'm about to get up out of here, brother. Anything else? You close us out.
No, I ain't got nothing else, man. Just prayers for my people in Selma, Gas, Tennessee, man. I called my cousin and they weren't looking right, and say a prayer for him and everything.
Okay.
Tornado touched down last night down there in Tennessee, man.
All right. Well, my daughter went through the
man.
same thing, man. She had to go to the bunker last night at the university, and she was up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and had class this morning.
It's an alert towards your way too.
Yeah. Well, I'm not in Nashville. My daughter.
No, I'm talking about Florida. Did he say it's sweeping that way too?
Yeah, but not in St. Pete. Not in St. Pete.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's my brother close too.
Yeah, no, I don't know what part of Florida may have gotten hit. I don't know. But my daughter, this was a Midwest thing from my understanding. It's
a Midwest thing, but it's going towards the east side too. That's why I was asking you. Right. Did it indication towards Florida?
No, not that I could see. All right, twin, I gotta go, brother. That's my time. I really appreciate you. Thanks for engaging with us, brother.
All right, man.
Thanks,
all right,
man. Talk to you.
Okay.
All right, folks, that's my time. I appreciate you guys being here. I'm still on the information. I got to share that information that what we're doing in the city of Cincinnati for the summer of 2025. I'll talk more and more about it each day because we'll be gradually building on it, and I'll give a little bit more information so everybody will be ready for it. Trust me, its name's much bigger than me. All right, it's much bigger than the Wyatt Live program. It's much bigger than the things that I've talked about before. It's much bigger. So I want to thank everybody for being here, man, giving me a little bit of time that you gave me today. I know I've been missing, but I've been in action. I ain't been missing in action. I've been in action. Y'all know I've spent 9 beautiful days with my wife in Chicago. I've been producing. I've been productive. I've been doing some things that's producing some other things. It's just I've been very busy. My audits ended on April the 1st. Well, actually today. All right, I've been doing audits for the first quarter of the year. I'm almost finished. I got about 3 or 4 more offices to do, but that shouldn't slow me down. I'm still in the process of deciding if I want to do 5 o'clock. There's some things that I'm working on in the background to see if I want to do that. I'm here, family, for us. As long as you here for me, I'll be here for you. Peace and love to everybody, man. Nothing but love. I'll see you on the next one tomorrow at 1 o'clock, right here, same place.
People are dead. People are dead. Dead. That's what I've said. The blind must be led. The hungry must be fed. Hey, yo, I'm looking through all this fear over there. Hey, yo, nobody cares. Take a look in my house. Would you live in there? Huh? Hey, yo, look at my shoes. Can you see my toes? But that's on the struggle, girl. Nobody knows. Look into my eyes, tell me what you see. Can you feel my pain? Am I your enemy? Give us a better way. Things are really bad. The only friend I know is this gonna have. Listen to my voice, this is not a threat. Now you say the 9. Are you worried yet? You be talking about you want the world to cease, but when you show us home, we will show you peace. Look into my mind. Can you see the wealth? Can you tell that I wanna help myself? But if it happen that I stick you for your ring, don't be mad at me. It's a survival thing. Look into my heart, I can feel your fear. Take another look. Can you hold my stare? Why are you afraid of my younger face? Or is it this thing bulging in my waist? Look into my eyes, tell me what you see. Can you feel my pain? Am I your enemy? Give us a better way. Things are really bad. The only friend I know is this gonna have. Listen to my voice, this is not a threat. But now you see the 9. Are you worried yet? You be talking about you want the world to cease, but when you show us hope, then we will show you peace. Look into my life, can you see my kids? And let me ask you this, you know what hungry is? Well, in this part of town, survival is my will. For you to stay alive, you got to rob and kill. Look into my house, would you live in there? Look me in the eyes and tell me that you care. Well, I made up my mind to end up in the mob. Right now I'd rather die, come on and live like dog. Look down on my shoes, can you see my toes? The struggle that we live, nobody really knows. Stop and ask yourself, would you live like that? And if you had to then, you would have bust gunshots. Look into the schools, Tell me how you feel. You want the kids to learn without a proper meal. Then what you have in place to keep them out around. If them drop out of school, them out the boss them gun. Look into my eyes, tell me what you see. Can you feel my pain? Am I your enemy? Give us a better way. Things are really bad. The only friend I know is this gonna happen. Listen to my voice. This is not a trend. But now you see the nine. Are you worried yet? You be talking about you want the world to cease. But when you show hope, then we will show you peace. Look into my mind. Can you see my wealth? Can you tell that I wanna help myself? But if it happen that I stick you for your ring, don't be mad at me. It's a survival thing. Look into my heart. I can feel your fear. Take another look. Can you hold my stare? Why are you afraid of my younger face? Or is it this thing bulging in my ways? Look into my life. Can you see my kids? Let me ask you this. You know what hungry is? In this part of town, survival is my will. For you to stay alive, you got to rob and kill. Look into my house. Would you live in here? Look me in the eyes and tell me that you care. Well, I made up my mind to end up in the mob. I know me rather die. I'm on a live like dog. Look into my eyes. Tell me what you see. Can you feel my pain? Am I your enemy? Give us a better way. Things are really bad. The only friend I know is this gonna happen. Listen to my voice. This is not a threat, but now you see the nine. Are you worried yet? You be talking about you want the world to cease, but when you show hope, then we will show you peace.
You're all a bunch of fucking assholes. You know why? You don't have the guts to be what you want to be. You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
Yo.
You're all a bunch of fucking assholes. You know why? You don't have the guts to be what you want to be. You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
Yo.
You're all a bunch of fucking assholes. You know why? You don't have the guts to be what you want to be. You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
Yo.